At dawn, church bells rang over corpses piled like forgotten firewood, and somewhere a starving mother whispered prayers over empty bowls. This is where our story begins. If you seek truth in darkness, like, subscribe, and walk with me into this plague-ravaged silence, where hope collapsed and humanity slowly unraveled. In a cramped stone cottage, a boy trembled as black swellings bloomed beneath his skin, while his father burned herbs and begged saints for mercy. Outside, carts rattled past, carrying neighbors wrapped in linen, their names already fading like footprints erased by relentless winter storms forever. Weeks later, fields lay untouched, bread turned to dust, and wells whispered of sickness. A widow boiled leather scraps, telling her children stories of feasts that once existed, while rats scurried boldly through sacred spaces, crowned as new rulers of terror, filth, and unspoken prophetic warnings everywhere. Entire villages collapsed into whispers and ashes, priests fled, markets rotted, and laws dissolved like mist. Rumors spread that God had turned his face away, leaving humanity naked before pestilence, famine, and the slow arithmetic of death, counted nightly by desperate clerks in candlelight trembling hands. Monks scratched numbers into parchment until ink ran thin, recording baptisms, burials, and vanished families. Some wrote of villages where no voices answered prayers, only wind moving through doors, as if spirits rehearsed their own funerals before oblivion swallowed memory, language, and fragile ancestral lineages forever. When grain vanished and roots were stripped bare, desperation rewrote moral law. Neighbors eyed neighbors like wolves in snowfall. Hunger hollowed compassion, leaving only trembling calculations about survival, whispered at night beside dying hearth fires, where childhood songs once promised safety and tomorrow never returned again. In cellars thick with rot and candle smoke, families debated the unthinkable with cracked lips and hollow eyes. Corpses, once sacred, became questions. Could love survive when flesh itself became currency in famine's cruel economy, answered only by sobs, prayers, and shaking hands in darkness forevermore? Amen. A father cut silent portions from a corpse's arm, weeping as he cooked it slowly, pretending it was lamb. His children chewed with closed eyes, tasting shame, grief, and survival braided together like thorns around fragile hearts, while angels, if any watched, surely turned away weeping. Word spread like infection, some villages had crossed a forbidden line. Travelers whispered of stew pots heavier than usual, of missing graves, of smoke that smelled wrong. Fear grew claws, tearing trust from already wounded communities until silence became safer than truth or compassion itself alone. Priests preached mercy while secretly wrestling horror in confessionals thick with incense and despair. Could God forgive those who ate to live? Some offered absolution. Others fled, unable to carry such sins upon trembling shoulders into exile of conscience, memory, and unanswered prayers whispered at midnight. Decades later, gray-haired witnesses spoke in fragments, afraid even of memories. They described winters without birdsong, kitchens without bread, and nights when neighbors vanished quietly, leaving only empty shoes and unbearable questions about forgiveness, justice, and whether survival itself required damnation before God. History, and their children. Modern historians debate these accounts, weighing famine records, parish logs, and desperate letters. Some call cannibalism exaggerated rumor. Others find patterns too consistent to dismiss, revealing how fragile civilization becomes when systems collapse under pressure of disease, isolation, fear, and abandonment by rulers, healers, and heaven. Abandoned cottages still whisper through cracked walls and sunken roofs, holding fingerprints of suffering in every splinter. Archaeologists uncover hurried burials and cooking pits, silent evidence of choices made when morality drowned in starvation, leaving future generations to argue, mourn, and remember with trembling uncertain hearts. The Black Death did not only kill bodies, it tested souls. It asked how far humans could fall before losing themselves entirely. In those villages, the answer was written in tears, graves, and unspoken shame, carried quietly through generations like inherited scars of memory eternal. We tell these stories not to judge, but to understand how close civilization always stands to collapse. If this journey moved you, remember to like, subscribe, and return for more forgotten histories, where shadows still whisper warnings from the past into our fragile present lives today.